Hello, Noble Ron. I will be right with you. Woo, 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 woohoo! Hello, good evening. Happy Moon Day, everybody. Let's go ahead and send this out. 9,940 followers? What? That's amazing. This whole fireside thing just surprises me every single day. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Moon Day. Here we are on another fabulous week, full of love, full of gratitude, and happy Galentine's to my gal, Rowena. If you are not in the US, you probably have no idea what that is, but apparently we also celebrate Galentine's Day, and people like Noble Ron may celebrate Palentine's Day with your pals, I guess. And so that would be February 13th. So here we are. It is Monday, February 13th, 2023, and we are so happy to join together this Moon Day to discuss all things productivity, motivation, mindfulness, community, empathy, love, emotional intelligence, and all that jazz. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. Yes, thank you so much, Rowena. I'm so happy that you're here. Happy Tuesday to you. It's already Valentine's Day for you. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. All right, so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are listening on Spotify, thank you so much for listening to the replay. And if you are watching on YouTube, I appreciate you so much, and I'm so grateful that you are here. My name is Graciela Moore, and I love all things mindfulness, mindset, journaling, meditation, the moon. And Monday has been my favorite day of the week pretty much since I was in school, honestly. It's probably because my weekends were kind of stressful, even though we did a lot of things. And so I always wanted to go back to school. It's like, oh, it's Monday. Let me put on my uniform and go to school and see my friends and do all the things. So Monday has been the thing for me for a very long time. And sometimes, like everybody, I feel like there are certain things that I will dread depending on the week, depending on the day, depending on what's really waiting for me, right, at the start of the week. So we're all human. We all go through these motions, but at the same time, I like to offer that reminder that what you bring to this day, especially if you get to rest during the weekend, for those of us who don't work during the weekend and start Monday as the first work day of the week, what you bring to your Monday will ripple throughout the week. Just like, if you wake up stressed or in a hurry or moody, then you don't really set yourself up for having a nice day, right? And this is not just for Mondays. This is for any day of the week. It's like, oh my goodness, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Yes, right? And so I'm very conscientious. Is that a word? I'm very conscious about the fact that what I bring to this day will affect me for the rest of the week. And maybe you're listening and you've never thought about that before, or maybe this doesn't apply to you, and that's okay. But I know that it applies to most of us listening to this conversation and really tuning into this particular framework. And so here we are to strategize for a successful week and to really do our best to set ourselves for success. It's I posted about this morning. There's so much negativity outside of yourself. There's so much that doesn't necessarily play against you like on purpose, but there's a lot that can happen that we don't have control over. And so again, focus on what you can control. Focus on the mindset that you bring to the day, because someone else may have a rough day, but what you bring to them may play a big difference. And hopefully when you're having a bad day, they may be there for you, so on and so forth. But I just like to really, really do this type of thing strategically and set myself up for success, because that's something I can control. If later on in the day or later on in the week, something happens that just, shakes everything up, then that's okay, right? Hopefully I have done the internal work good enough to tackle those things head on and deal with whatever comes my way. But at the same time, at least I can make sure today that I did my part in bringing the necessary mindset. I don't even want to say the right mindset. I just feel like it's a necessity to bring positivity into it and optimism and hope, right? Like those are the things for me. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. If you are brand new to this conversation, we are following the Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2023 Manifestation Agenda / Journal. And in this agenda, you get to journal every Monday. Here's the space for you to journal. So I'm not done. I will fill this up by the end of the night. And you also get to ponder things that you will make sure to do this week. It may be something that you didn't do last week that you're putting off. Why are you putting it off? What are you avoiding? Bring awareness to these things. This week I will create what? What are you creating this week? So for example, this week I need to make sure that I create an ebook copy of my most recent offering, which is available on Amazon, but it's not available on Kindle as an ebook yet. And I have someone in India asking about this book, and I'm like, yeah, it's not on Kindle yet. So this week I need to make sure to do that. What do you need to make sure to do? Maybe it's work related, right? Maybe last week you avoided calling a client. Well, this week you need to make sure to do that. Or this week you need to make sure to what? Fill in the blank. What is it that you're putting off? Make sure that you do it. Don't avoid, the inevitable. Don't just push it and push it and push it, because when you push something that you just don't want to do, but you have to do it and you're just leaving it for later and later and later, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of energy. But it's not positive energy. It's like that avoidance, sticky energy of, I don't want to do it. Notice how that's a negative word, right? I don't want to do it. And so I don't want to do it today. I don't want to do it tomorrow. I don't want to do it the following day. I don't want to do it the following day. Now you have 4 days in a row of just negative energy, stacking up. And why would you do that to yourself? And so don't put it off. Make sure that you do it this week. And something that you're grateful for. This is something that I practice every single day. And I really invite everybody to practice gratitude, especially when you're struggling mentally. When you're feeling, what does struggling mentally means? When you're feeling like you're just not happy. How about that, right? And this weekend may be an example of that. The moon was in Scorpio, and Scorpio is very deep and very dark. And so if this weekend you struggle, you may have started your Monday in a mood. The moon was in Scorpio still today. It doesn't move into Sagittarius until tomorrow, so we're still with the moon in Scorpio. So if you were moody today, kind of like black or white, it's my way or the highway, or, this is it, why am I not getting it, or whatever really caused you to be moody today, then what are you grateful for can really shift the energy, even if it's just, I'm grateful for the food I have in front of me right now. I'm grateful for the friend I get to text and then receive the support that I need. I'm grateful for this bed that is just so comfortable right now and what I need after a stressful day. Like just really ponder one or two things that you're grateful for. You're invited to write them down, obviously, right? So I journal about gratitude every night before I go to bed, at least 3 things. And sometimes the gratitude journaling is like a whole page in my journal, which is a different journal aside from this one. And other times it's just a quick, let me check the gratitude box today because I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I just want to go to bed. And I'll just be like, I'm grateful for whatever, and I'll just write it down. But that's a practice, and it really does just, I find that I sleep better when I do it. So you're welcome to do that. And then the moon phase for today is the last quarter. So it is a half shadow and a half light. That means that we are working, building up that shadow so that we can discuss the new moon next Monday. And I'm excited about that. But here's the thing. When the moon is waning, which is what that means, when it's getting darker and darker, that's waning. And when it's waxing is when it's getting light. When the moon is waning, it may bring into the surface a few of your own shadows. So that means secrets, insecurities, trauma, triggers, negativity, right? Discomfort. Again, things that you're avoiding, things that you've been putting off, whatever you consider negative in your life, that would be your shadow, right? And so when the moon is waning, it's bringing awareness into those things. And the more compassion you show yourself, the more patience you show yourself through the process of handling those shadows, of untangling that negativity of your past, of your trauma, or whatever, or your present. If you're in if you're in the thick of negativity right now, then the better it will be for you in the long run. Everything is a process. We're moving forward, baby steps, little by little, and it's not a race. It's not even a marathon. It's just life. And so what you do today hopefully will help you tomorrow, but the work that you do today may come up, I don't know, a month from now when there's an eclipse, or 6 months from now when you change careers, or a year from now when you look back on all of your growth and it's like, oh yeah, I remember the new moon in Pisces happening at the end or mid, kind of February, right? So we're leading up to that. And the affirmation from the book, it provides an affirmation every moon day, which is today. The affirmation for the week is, I am learning ways to see the lessons and I incorporate them daily. And there's 2 ways to look at this affirmation. I am learning ways to see the lessons, and I incorporate the lessons daily, or I incorporate the ways that I'm observing these lessons. So there's 2 things that we're doing in that one affirmation. And it's just so important to keep your awareness open, keep your eyes open for whatever the universe is communicating to you, I should say, right? Whether you call it the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, Jesus, I don't know, spirit, right? Nature, your spirit guides, your intuition, what do you call it, right? That's up to you. We don't need to discuss that. The point is, are you paying attention to what is being communicated to you? And what are you doing with that communication? Because obviously, if you're not doing anything, if you're just going, la, 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 I'm just going to live my life and I don't care, then, if that works for you, great. I've already lived like that, and I know that it doesn't work for me to kind of work against that inspiration. And it doesn't really work for me to be rebellious against the intuition or the messages or the revelations that I receive. I want to work with the universe. I don't want to work against it. We have discussed this, right? When we discuss the planets in retrograde, or how we attune with the energy of the moon and where it is, I don't want to work against what's happening. I want to flow with it. Why would we want to go against the current? And I've lived many years. I've gone through that phase of me living against everything that was taught, every tradition, just everything in general. And it's not very fun. Even if you find a community that is going against that flow, it still may not resonate with you. And so if it doesn't, then you're invited to tune in. How do you get in tune with yourself, with your spirit, with your soul? That's the journey into soul alignment, right? So that you can really just thrive in that flow as opposed to struggling against it. All right. My coach told me 2 weeks ago, what did she say? Struggle to survive, or now I'm not going to remember what Sally said. I wish I had that for you right now, but as you know, this show is not scripted and this just came to me. But she said, go against all of it and struggle to survive, or flow with it and thrive. That's essentially what she said. I'm going to repeat that for those in the back. Go against the flow and struggle to survive, or go with the flow and thrive. And I feel like there's a bad rap to going with the flow because, this person just, they don't put in any effort. They just go with the flow. They're just super chill. They don't really care. And so we kind of disconnect when we think about going with the flow because of that bad rap that going with the flow gets. But at the same time, when we're talking about spirit, when we're talking about being down on your knees, praying for something, don't you want to go with the spiritual flow that allows you to get that prayer answered and attracts what you're calling in and allows you to be open to receive? Why would you be against it? Especially if you're praying for something. You want to flow with it. Do your part. Do whatever it takes to, whatever qualifies as my part to make this prayer come true. What do I need to do? What will you have me do, right? That's something that we all ask. Thy will be done. That's something that we all could say, right? And so be in that flow. Don't work against it, right? I feel like I've said enough. So let's go into the moon cast. Hello, Charlie. Welcome, welcome. So the moon for the week. We are in Scorpio today, so you might have had a moody day. You might have had a deep, heartfelt whole weekend. Your children might have been moody and opinionated, and that's because we're all experiencing that moon in Scorpio at the same time. So you as an adult will experience it one way, children will experience it another way, especially if you're listening and you're a highly sensitive empath, then you might feel it as well. But lucky for us, the moon doesn't stay put, for long, and it'll be in Sagittarius tomorrow. And Sagittarius, we've discussed this before, is very directed. Now here's a downside to a moon in Sagittarius, and it's going to be in Sagittarius until Thursday. The downside to Sagittarius is that Sagittarius is goal oriented. So if currently in your life you haven't set any goals, which is okay, right? That's fine. Whatever works for you. But if you haven't set any goals, if you don't have your eyes and your intentions set on something specifically, two things will happen when the moon is in Sagittarius. One, you will get that clarity and that revelation as to this is it. Let me set my goal. Let me set my sights on that. So that's one. That's productive. That's great. The other one is you will feel uncomfortable. You will feel the discomfort of not having a vision, not having direction, probably maybe feeling displaced if the people around you are goal-oriented and you're kind of left behind. And so how do you feel about that? And I ask a lot about feelings because the moon is all about emotions and we're highly sensitive empaths here, right? So we feel a lot. Emphasis on the root of the word empath, emotions, right? And so tomorrow, through Thursday with the moon in Sagittarius, really ponder what is it that you want to create? What do you have your eyes or your sights set on for the next few weeks, especially leading up to a new moon? Let's remember that the new moon is when we plant seeds of intention, right? So with the moon in Sagittarius is a great chance to really ponder what are the seeds I'm going to plant next week when we return and we talk about the new moon and we journal and paint like we do every new moon and every full moon. So start thinking about that. But There's also a lot going on this week astrologically that I also want to bring up because it's Valentine's Day and Venus, the planet of love, passion, and relationships, is very active this week. So let me finish the moon cast and then we'll go to Venus. So Thursday, the moon is going to be in Capricorn. I know a few Capricorns. I even know one that's in the room right now, right? And Capricorn wants to be useful to society. And again, if you don't have a community, if you don't have a sense of how do I serve my family, how do I serve, the community at large with everything that's going on in Turkey, Iran, that train that got derailed in Ohio. Oh my gosh, there's just so much going on in the world. And when the moon is in Capricorn, you may really feel that discomfort of, what can I do? What can I do to help? What can I do to serve? Or the discomfort of feeling helpless because there's only so much I can do with my limited resources, with, me being on this side of the world and not over there on the ground helping. I can't imagine whatever registered nurse or, doctor would be listening to this and how they feel with their hands tied, not being able to help, right? Over there in Turkey or over in Ohio with the train or just anywhere where there's tragedy happening live and them not being able to assist. The moon in Capricorn might highlight that. And so again, how do you solve those feelings of discomfort? You focus on your microcosm, you focus on your sphere of influence, and you focus on what you can do to control. How can I serve those that are near me, those that are directly affected by my actions? And that may be the people in your home, the people in your work, your bestest friends that are close to you, so on and so forth, right? And then the moon is going to be in Capricorn until Saturday, and then after Capricorn, it moves into Aquarius. And Aquarius really wants emotional freedom. But the thing about Saturday is that not only is the moon in Capricorn, but Pisces season starts. And when a new season starts, there's a drastic change in the energy of it all. So you might just feel an energy shift upon waking up on Saturday. And I love these energy shifts. Let me tell you, I love keeping track of where the moon is, because some days I really do mark the difference in my journal about how yesterday I felt so moody or so lazy or just so heavy, like so slow, right? And then all of a sudden today I'm like, woohoo, let's do this. Check, 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 get everything done. I'm so motivated. The moon in Virgo will do that for me because my ascendant is in Virgo, and Virgo just likes to get things done, organize things, make sense of it. And so that's how I feel literally from one day to the next. And if you ever ponder or wonder why from one day to the next your mood may shift or evolve in a drastic way, it's the moon. That's what it is. So with the moon in Aquarius wanting emotional freedom, and then Pisces season starting on the same day, you might feel a very drastic shift of energy. And that's the moon cast for the week, because the moon is going to be in Aquarius until Monday. And on Monday, we meet again to discuss the new moon happening on that day. So let's talk about Venus for a second. As you know, I'm not an astrologer, so I get all of my deets. I get all of the astrological tea from Jessica Lanato in her podcast, Ghost of a Podcast. Look it up anywhere where podcasts are, broadcasted. And also the Chani app and her astrology for the week, which is very short. It's like 15 minutes. But what I learned today is that Venus is conjunct Neptune. Now, Neptune is the planet of ideals, and Venus is the planet of love, relationships, passion, yes, but Venus really highlights your values. And your values are really kind of on earth. Think about these two words, ideals, right? And your ideals are kind of like up here in the air. What do I aspire to? What are my ideals for world peace and those kind of unreachable things that you may be pondering, right? That's what an ideal is. Like 100% best case scenario, if I could do anything, if I could fly and teleport, right? What are your ideals? That's Neptune. And what are your values, which is more like, I value hope, I value humor, I value social justice, I value perspective, I value hope, I value love. Those are things that kind of play on a day to day in your relationships, in your communication, in your experience on earth. Right? So as above, so below. And with Venus conjunct Neptune, meaning they kind of stick together and they almost rub against each other and they may compete against one another. And it's all of those energies kind of butting heads. The question would be, what are your ideals? What are your values? And where do they intersect? And the way that, an intersection is, where do they meet, right? In the crossroads of life. Hello, Mel. Welcome. So happy that you're here. So it's, again, what are your ideals? What are your values? Which they're two different things. If you don't know the difference, I invite you to look this up, look up the definitions for each word. And where do they intersect? This is the question for the week because of that Venus conjunct Neptune. But the thing about Venus is that it's also in Pisces, and Pisces is the most divinely connected of the zodiac. So when Venus, the planet of love, passion, relationships, community, is in Pisces, it's really going to highlight that spiritual connection, spiritual development. We've talked about emotional intelligence. So how about spiritual intelligence? How connected are you with your soul? Oh my gosh, I feel like I could open a can of worms with that question, right? And so this week with Valentine's Day, Jessica called it a coincidence that Venus is having all of this activity this week and it's Valentine's Day. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything just aligns so beautifully, inspired by God, Heavenly Father, Spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, right? By an amazing force that just kind of knows better. And so it's Valentine's Day, and the question is, how are your ideals aligned with your values? And how do you bring this into your relationships? And how does everything flow together? And I'm very excited to explore this question, even myself, right? Because I belong to a community, I belong to a family, I belong to all of these, different groups. And so I want to make sure that everything flows just so, that everything is aligned with what I have my eyes set on, right? That moon in Sagittarius tomorrow, reminding you to have that goal or to really ponder what you want to create. And that is your Mooncast. Yay! That is everything we have this week. Welcome, Sarah, and welcome, Mel, and everyone that's in the room. You're welcome to come up and say hello. I want to invite all of you to join and decide whether you want to ask any questions or share any insight about your week. And of course, I will also be discussing in a few minutes the fact that I have this new book out, and I definitely want to talk about it for a few minutes, but we're not going to talk about it yet. But yes, indeed. Oh, Charlie is here, and so is Rowena. Welcome, Charlie. You got to the... Oh, Rowena is here. Okay, Rowena, do you want to go first? Charlie, which one?
She can go first.
Oh,
thank you,
so
Charlie.
gracious.
Go ahead. Hello, Rowena. Happy Tuesday to you. How are you doing?
Good. It's Tuesday. I really appreciated that Mooncast. It was good to reflect on the energy of the week. Monday, I mean, it's Tuesday here, but it's a good point about, how you want to reflect on your week ahead and set the intention. Yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride, as you know. I have hurt myself. And so I am in the throes of needing to slow down and and take stock at the moment. So I'm balancing needs of body and healing for my broken ankle, and at the same time I still have a lot of busyness with my work. So it's very interesting. I'm reflecting on that at the moment about what is needed, what I need to, where I need to be kind of giving my attention at this point. So,
Yes. Well, so I don't know if you all caught that, but Rowena has a broken ankle. Ouchie. And it just, I feel it so deeply because I've never broken a bone. And to break an ankle, that just sounds so painful. So, first, I want to commend you for just doing life with a broken ankle because, you're so strong. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And second, I can definitely relate to being hurt in a different way, right? And how we just want to do, even out of habit. And our body will remind us with that little, sharp pain, like, nope, you're supposed to be in bed. Or, nope, you have a broken ankle today. Like, don't, slow down. And so I just want to offer you the main ingredient that just puts everything together, which is grace. Give yourself grace this week. What does that look like for you in this season of your life as your ankle heals? And what sort of boundaries can you set for yourself at work so that you're allowed to slow down because you're obviously in that season, right? Like you just brought up. And at the same time, how can you use this season of slowing down to your advantage because your body is slowed down, but slowed, is that a word? Oh my gosh, slowed down. But your mind doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't need to slow down. So maybe it's a season to create. Maybe it's a season to follow up on as above because so below, it's a little slow right now.
yeah, it's so true. And like at the moment, that physical, like the physical, just the basic things are really hard to do. And so, yeah, the mind, like for me, meditation's been really important at the moment, particularly as I'm in a lot of pain. So I'm like using meditation to really help disperse that energy, which is very helpful. But yes, I'm very much aware that getting over this hurdle of the pain focus, being able to redirect the attention into the visual future vision scape,
Yes.
while I can't physically do a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it brings me back to the beginning of the episode when I was talking about gratitude. And I've been in a lot of pain as well after surgery, whatever. And so I know how literally difficult it is to be grateful when we are in pain, right? In physical pain. But practice gratitude in this season even more than you ever did. Try to transmute that frustration into a positive energy so that you can flow with it instead of against it.
Yeah. Good reminder. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Handball to you, Charlie.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rowena. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's go to Charlie and the Noble Run. Hi, Charlie.
Hello. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for Love Spells and your great book. It was it was a great way of starting my day. You know.
Yes, everybody, please give Charlie a round of applause. He got my book, and then he surprised me with a surprise episode here on Fireside where he reviewed my book and read from it. And I'm so grateful that you did that, Charlie. So, so grateful that you took the time to do an episode about it. So I will never forget that you did that. So thank you. And everyone wondering, this is available on Amazon. Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, I just want to kind of go back to that morning when I was reading the book. The you always want to wake up to a good feeling something to ignite you to just to a good vibe, and I anticipated that it was going to be a great book. And that night before, I said I'm going to read it in the morning, and it's going to start my day off. I already knew that. I knew that it was going to do that for me. So, and it did. And as I'm reading, and I'm getting towards I'm in the beginning. Don't really. What are you calling me?
Oh,
I
are you there?
realized that
Oh,
I didn't realize I was in the middle of the book, right? Because when I got to the end, I was like, I'm done already. And I knew it was the end. I knew it was the end because I seen your picture towards the end, and I said, "Wow, I read that pretty quick." Um, and I could relate to every single one of your poems. So I got some inspiration on some things that I will write later, but uh, probably 3 or 4 poems that I'm gonna write. And one is I'm gonna talk about a balloon with no string, and it's the balloon represents your heart.
hmm.
We have heartstrings, we have all kinds of things that are attached to your heart, but this is just going to be a heart that's just going to be let go. And so that's one thing I'm going to get involved in. I mean, I'm going to write about, and there was a few other ones. So,
Well, I'm
but I
very excited and very grateful that one, that you received it in the sense that you read it and received the message and that you identified with it. That's part of that intention of putting our work as writers out there. Is we don't just want to communicate our truth, but we hope that the reader will find themselves in it. And this is definitely one of my missions as a writer and as part of this highly sensitive empath collective, because we tend to believe that we are alone in our struggle, but we're not, right? There's so many of
true.
us out there going through the same motions of too much love or not enough love or unrequited love, or we're too dramatic or too sentimental, so on and so forth. And so I did get the feeling that my book left you wanting for more, and that's awesome. I will receive that as a great review because there's more coming. Yay. And so
Thank you,
I'm very
thank you.
excited and honored to share. Thank you, Charlie.
Keep up the good work, and I'll continue to follow you until I can't follow you no longer. So
Oh,
keep up the good
you're
work.
so sweet. Thank you so much.
Back
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
back at you.
All right. Everybody, please follow Charlie as well and tune into his shows. Noble Ron, it's your turn. Good Moon Day.
Hello, good moon day, and I'm amazed. Excuse me. I'm amazed at your activity. The activity. I mean, you exhaust me really, and it's always poignant
In a
during this
good way.
show. Yeah, in a good way. In a good way. In a way that I go, my goodness, it's amazing how much life you pack into your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what resonated for me, what you said about some people just going la 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 la, just kind of going along with life and not taking advantage of the shift in energies and everything. And I was just wondering what percentage of people actually do recognize the energies and I would think that the majority of people do not recognize all this, and it's a little bit
Hmm.
sad.
Yeah, I mean, so a percentage, I couldn't give you a percentage. All I
Right.
know is that I belong to the percentage of people that is conscious and actively seeking out people like you and people like everyone in this room who are interested in being aware, right? Being woke. I say that with quote unquote because that's like the term of the social media frenzy. It's like, I'm woke. But are you really?
Right.
But right, but we are, in this community, we are really conscious of our intention to tap into emotional intelligence and take advantage of it in our relationships, right? We are very persistent with taking advantage of that energy because Why would I want to play against it? And the thing about energy is that how you honor your energy is how you honor your needs, I feel like. And sometimes your body is really calling you to slow down. Or maybe your body is really calling you to take a nap or rest in a specific way. And so when we are in denial, when it's like, no, I have to do this, I have to do this because I'm a perfectionist, or because I don't think I'm good enough, or because I have this pressure, right? Then we're working against it. And the thing is that in the long run, it doesn't really serve us well. And this is when burnout happens. This is when arguments happen. This is when resentment happens. And so why would we set ourselves up for failure like that, right?
Exactly. And what I was wondering is, how do you measure your improvements that you feel? Is it just being overall happy about what you're doing, or is it measured, and how do you measure it?
I measure things with my journaling, because my journaling
Oh,
is the evidence of how I was feeling, what I
hmm
did about it, and what I hope, will happen, right? And
hmm
as a reminder, we have this journal that we get to follow, and there's a lot of time blocking involved, but I also have my other journal where I write in the morning or when something comes up or at night. And so I specifically keep a lot of track of things that are going on. I also write a lot about my child because I want to keep track of,
oh
he's
yeah.
almost 4 and he's doing this and he's doing that. And so I like to document it. That's
Mhm.
really the word, documented. And then there's this thing in positive psychology, right? That you apply positive psychology, duh, which is which is acknowledging whatever it is that you did and actively celebrating for it. And actively means that you're going to acknowledge it by bringing it up or by really setting it as an intention. So for example, we're going to go get ice cream because we did this today, and now you're actively celebrating something, and this really creates that serotonin or oxytocin release in the brain, and it activates the reward system in the brain. So now you're really cataloging something that you did and celebrating it. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. I was curious also, when did you start journaling? How old were you?
Ooh, I was like 14 when I started journaling.
Oh
So
my
it's been over
goodness.
20 years.
That is incredible. I'd give
Mhm.
anything to go back to my younger self and go, dude, you need to journal because you will
Mhm.
forget. I mean, so you can go back if you wanted to and look at a day when you were 15.
That's right.
Oh
And I
my goodness,
do.
that's
And
amazing.
it's sad too. Like, this has been part of what inspires my work, is because I looked back on my journals and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've always wanted to share and I didn't have the chance before. Or one of the most important epiphanies about looking back on my writing, which I encourage
Hmm
anybody in a toxic relationship to journal. And that
hmm
is because when you look back on your journals, it may pinpoint your own toxic patterns. And so that's what happened to me when I was in toxic relationships and in, abusive relationships before. One day I looked back on my journal and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been complaining about the same thing for like 3 years. What am I going to do about
Right.
it? Enough. I don't want to keep
Wow.
complaining about it. And
hmm
so journaling can be such a treasure.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And now you said it was you were sad when you look back. What you were sad about that, or is it something else?
I was just sad because I realized that some of the things that I am discussing now,
Hmm
I did have an awareness of back then, but I didn't even realize it. I just wrote about it.
I
I wrote
see.
about it, but I didn't have a community, or, I only started therapy 8 years ago. So whatever I journaled when I was 14, 15, 16, all I had was my journal, right? And to realize
Right.
7 years ago that I have been carrying some of this along with me, like a little snail with my house on top of
Mm.
me, right? For so long, that is heartbreaking, for
That
sure.
is absolutely. And so for me, going through, oh, I just wanted to say to Rowena that, I'm sorry about your ankle. And for me, I try to always be aware or at least be grateful for the fact that I don't feel pain because it's only when you have pain in your life that you realize how you take it for granted that you don't have pain. And so it just reminded me to be grateful that I'm not in any sort of any kind of physical pain,
Right.
because I have a very low threshold for pain. I'm very much like, I mean, I'm the worst. It's really sad, but anyway, I hope
Well,
you
don't
get
say it
better.
like that. You're
What do
not
you
the
mean?
worst. Take it
Oh
back.
no, yeah, I guess I'm not the worst, but it's like, I mean,
I
it's
get it.
ridiculous. It's like,
It's
um,
ridiculous.
like yeah, like don't take me to a dentist. It's like that's the nightmare of my life. But
Oh, I can
what
relate.
else? Uh huh. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, so my energy feels great. This today I received something professionally, an offer for something, another position somewhere, and I wasn't going to say that though in kudos, but now I did. So, but anyway, um, I'm sure there's no one here that's going to curse my improvements or anything. So,
No.
but that was very nice. And just tomorrow looks like it's going to be a good day. And yeah, it's just a really good energy. And I appreciate you letting me speak. And
Of
what a
course.
great episode.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Ron, and thank you for all that you do. I love you so
Love
much.
you too.
You're welcome. Yes. That's Noble Ron for you, everybody. Such an amazing human being, and I'm so proud of you. Congratulations for whatever it is that is happening for you at work. I'm sure you deserve it. And it's been a long time coming as well because you're a leader. So congratulations on that. Good evening, Darcy. Welcome, welcome. So happy that you made it. And Pamela is also here, and Melissa. Thank you for being here. So we're towards the end of this episode. Let's just rewind and revisit where the moon is this week. So, how was your weekend? It may have been very dramatic, very black and white, very moody with the moon in Scorpio. So, revisit what came up for you this weekend and take it slow. Give yourself grace. Don't forget, this is moon, magic, and mindfulness with grace. That's like the main ingredient that glues us all together, right? So remember to give yourself grace when you are feeling down or depressed or dark or moody or short-tempered or whatever. I mean, my child spent all day screaming, and I was like, why are you screaming? And he wasn't moody, he wasn't crying, he was just running around screaming. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, calm down, breathe, let's go sing a song, let's go down this slide. And he lived his day screaming through it. And I have to wonder sometimes, what is going on atmospherically that may elicit those reactions in him, a tiny little body, right? And so that was interesting today. And the moon is going to move into Sagittarius tomorrow until Thursday. So ponder, what are your goals? What are your eyes set on? What are the intentions that you want to plant come Monday next week with the new moon? We're going to plant seeds of intention. We're going to journal and paint and do all of it. And then it moves into Capricorn on Thursday. So Capricorn is very concerned with see, Darcy says she can relate. She would like to scream throughout her day sometimes. I know, I can definitely relate to that. So Capricorn is very concerned with, are you useful to society or not? So how can you serve your community? How can you serve the world at large? It is Valentine's Day this week. So how are you not just saying I love you, but really showing it, right? Really expressing your love. That's up to you to decide. Not just tomorrow, but in general, right? Please don't just celebrate Valentine's Day or love on Valentine's Day, and just remember to love one another every single day, right? And then the moon moves into Aquarius on Saturday. And Saturday, you may be very concerned with your emotional freedom, having a safe space where you can just be yourself authentically, safely, or not. And then the discomfort that comes from, the lack of, right? And Pisces season starts on Saturday as well. So there may be a drastic change in your energy or in the energy at large, because that's what happens when the sun moves from one sign to the other. That's what going from one season to the other. The sun is going to be in Pisces on Saturday, and the moon will be in Aquarius. And that is the week. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember your affirmation: I am learning ways to see the lessons and I incorporate them daily. What does that mean for you? What comes up for you, right? Are you in tune? Or like Noble Ron was highlighting, are you going la 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 about the intuition you receive, about the guidance you receive? Don't ask questions like, why is this happening? Or what can I do better? Or what else can I do? Don't ask questions if you don't want to tune into the answer. Because I assure you, the answer will come, whether it's through someone, whether it's on the TV, whether it's in the newspaper, whether it's in social media. Ask and you shall receive. That's a promise. So what are you going to do if you ask a question? That's for you to ponder. All right, so get comfortable. Let's get to that meditation. Tonight we're going to flow down the river, and we're going to do this in honor of Rowena, who is flowing in this season of her life and who has joined us live all the way from Australia. And she has a broken ankle, so let's focus on healing and tapping into that peace and into that love that heals all ailments. So both feet on the ground. If you're laying down, it's even better. Get comfortable and bring your awareness to your regular, nice and slow breath. Nice and slow. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Just be here now. And with me, you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice and slow, not in a hurry, just fill your lungs all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out nice and slow through your mouth. Slow, slow, slow breath out all the way. Hold your breath again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's breathe in again through your nose. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. All the way till you cap at the top. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go through your mouth. Slow, 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 slow. And if you feel like gasping at the end, just follow that lead. Do what you must. And just bring your breath work to a nice, natural rhythm after that. And with your eyes closed, I want you to relax your head. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax your chest. Relax your abdomen. Relax your hips. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your legs. Relax your ankles. Relax your feet. And imagine that you are comfortably limp on a tube down the river, nice and chillin', flowing with the current, focusing on the beautiful day ahead, feeling the loving, nurturing light that fills your body, touches your soul, and heals every single cell. And as you breathe, bring your attention to any part of your body that feels discomfort or pain. And imagine bright light shining through. And imagine so much love directed specifically to this spot. And ponder the faith and the conviction that your body is healing and feeling better and better with each passing moment. With me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep, deep, deep breath in, nice and slow, all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out through your mouth. Nice and slow. Slow, long breath out all the way. Hold your breath again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in again through your nose. Long, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it go through your mouth. And as you let it go, and as you slowly float on this river of healing water and light, remember that you are learning ways to see the lessons and incorporating them daily. You are directed with your eyes set on beautiful, creative goals. I am loved, safe, and protected. I am in a journey of healing and feeling better and better every day. I am flowing with the energy of my days and consciously nurturing the energy I seek. I am creative, productive, and successful. And I celebrate each day with love and gratitude. With me, take a deep breath in one last time through your nose. Deep, deep, deep breath. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out through your mouth, nice and slow, not in a hurry. Just push it out nice and slow. Hold your breath again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in again. One last breath. All the way, nice and slow. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. And as you let it go, bring your awareness to your body. Slowly move or stretch. Open your eyes and come back to me. And I am so grateful that you joined us and that you are here in this planet, in this world, in this universe, in my life. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for your continuous support and encouragement. It really means the world, and it just allows me to really realize that these, we talked about going la 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 when spirit sends us these messages, and to receive your love and kindness and support really reinforces the fact that this show and the work that I do, which is definitely very guided and inspired by spirit, not me, is really aligned, and it just fills my soul so, so much. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here and for tuning in. And Love Spells is available now on Amazon. This is my most recent publication. It is Musings for the Brokenhearted, a little collection of poems, and it's the first in a series of poetry books that will be available this year. This is the very first. So you can find it on Amazon. And if you don't find it, because I need reviews in order to, have that visibility going, then research my name on the search bar, Graciela Moore. And there you will find Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2023 Agenda Journal, which you're all welcome to follow along with, or Love Spells, Musings for the Brokenhearted. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I wish you nothing but love and light this week and every single day. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so make sure, if you didn't already, that you let everyone you love how much you love them. I love you all, and I will see you all next week for the new moon in Pisces. Yay! Bye, everybody. Have a great night.